if you thought perhaps that Fox would eventually, after the Senate report on Benghazi, move on from it, start talking about something else, forget about it. Bill O'Reilly was talking about the Senate's findings. Take a look at what he had to say.
Panetta tells Obama, terror attack on the day it happened. Panetta, there he is, smiling at you. You know him. But he tells Obama.
I know that. Okay.
And then Obama allows Susan Rice to go out and tell a totally different story. Tell me why.
Because that was consistent with, as Director Petraeus said, and as the committee said, that was consistent with what the intelligence community was saying.
No, that's not what Panetta said.
I don't know what but no, you look at the report, and that's what they said.
I don't care about I don't care about the bloody report.
He doesn't care about the report. Here's something that the report actually did say.
Carville surprisingly fucking sucks.
He's getting older.
He was just like, I think, like he seemed super defensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he? Like, yeah. Like if you're a Republican and you hear that, you're like, yeah, look at O'Reilly giving it to him. He's got no explanation. You want to be like, Bill, you're lying. You're not reading the report. Like you gotta.
You could do that. They would just cut your mic.
Okay.
I mean, this is probably 15 minutes into Bill just yelling at him about everything they've discussed.
I'm just surprised that this guy who is because in general I don't think James Carville sucks, but this guy who is a sort of brilliant political tactician, like because he's so casual, you know, he's all laid back. He's like, yep, Bill, you know, like he doesn't. It's a fairly for a guy who understands image.
You'd expect more strength.
Yeah, like he projected a guy who was covering something up when in fact it was O'Reilly who was covering something up.
Yeah, exactly. Now the Senate actually said the majority concludes that the interagency coordination process on the talking points followed normal but rushed coordination procedures, and that there were no efforts by the White House or any other executive branch entities to cover up facts or make alterations for political purposes. Now, Bill O'Reilly's saying there that he does not care about what the report said. You can bet your ass that if they said that there was some reason to believe there had been a cover-up, he would care what the bloody report said.
There's no cover-up. It was a freaking tragedy.
It was a tragedy, and all of the people, like I can understand him talking about it still. He's talking about it because he sees some potential, even if small, for political gain because of it. But for the people, the average people watching, say, this video, who say, this is something I really care about, talk about it for 5 minutes. Tell me what you care about it. Write like 3 paragraphs about what it actually means. And I think that you'll find that you can't get to that 3rd paragraph because you don't actually understand. You think something bad happened. You think somebody died in some way, but you have no information beyond that. And when information is actually gathered, for instance, by the New York Times a couple of weeks ago, or from the Senate report there this week, and it doesn't show that there's anything to do with what you believe happened in Benghazi, like at some point you have to move on.
What they, of course, are suggesting in Benghazi is incredibly insulting and cruel and terrible, suggesting that one of 2 things happened, that there was an effort because for reasons which I find confounding and inexplicable, that they wouldn't want there to be a small terror attack that killed Americans, right? That would somehow be politically crushing.
Yeah, exactly.
That Americans killed in a very dangerous part of the world by Al-Qaeda affiliated group would somehow have damaged Obama's re-election campaign. I just don't think it would have. I think that the way you respond to it might do some damage, but we all know the world's a dangerous place. Here's who was sent into harm's way: 4,000 dead soldiers by George W. Bush. Like that didn't hurt his campaign.
Yeah.
Like we had. So that premise is flawed. And disrespectful of the dead. Bill O'Reilly is consistently disrespectful of the men and women who serve and die. And then the other thing is that there was this nonsense desire there's worse than that is that we knew about it and we could have helped but didn't.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
No one would do that. My worst enemy, the person I think is every member of Congress, every loathsome right-wing member of Congress, if they were in charge, would do all the help they could. Bernie Sanders would send all the help he could. Everyone would do that.
Ricky Strom would help
Ricky
you
Strom
in that
would help,
case.
Exactly. So that's nuts. And then all of it, it never seemed to be holding to anything. It was a crazy conspiracy theory it was a lousy conspiracy to begin with. And the thing that the report actually gives them, which they have to start talking about soon, is that there were some signs that we should have beefed up security there, and we didn't, and that was the State Department's responsibility, and that's Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're going to make that point in 2016, as Democrats are learning a little bit with Chris Christie now. They ought to be making that now, not the other thing.
Yeah.
Forget about Obama. That's not even there. You don't have it. It's not there. Let it go. Talk about the thing you do have, which is that. I mean, I don't think that's that. You know, there are a lot of requests for security, and I think that Hillary will survive that. But it's definitely a fair point to make, and they ought to be making that point.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There were the signs that there should have been more security. They didn't respond to it, and so feel free to use that in your calculus when evaluating. I guess Hillary.
Yeah, the majority
coming into
report,
2016,
the Democratic majority found that it could have been prevented.
Yeah, but at the same time, look back to before 9/11, when there was indications that Al Qaeda was intending to strike in the United States.
Determined.
Exactly, determined to do it. So use that to evaluate Republicans when it comes to national security. People complaining in advance of Hurricane Katrina that it wasn't going to hold and that there was going to be massive devastation. Use that when evaluating Republican response or preparation for natural disasters. Do all of this stuff and understand that Benghazi is a part of that, but it is a very small part of that. And the more that Fox in particular focuses on it, I think it just seems more and more sad.